All right, so we were saying this has a slope of 0, and this has a y-intercept of 2. So remember, you always graph your y-intercept first. So I've already done that. My y-intercept, where I'm crossing my y-axis, is 2. So I just put a point at 2 on my y-axis. Now my slope here is 0. So that's 0 over 1. That means go up or down, it doesn't really matter, 0, and then go right 1. So if I'm going up 0, I'm not going to 3, I'm not going to 1, I'm just staying at the same height, and then I'm moving over 1. So I've just drawn a horizontal line. That's it. On this guy here, again, it's kind of scary because y equals negative 1/2 x plus 0 is what I need for this to be in the same form as mx plus b. I have an m value, I have a slope, but notice there's no number being added, no constant. Well, adding nothing is the same as adding 0. So here then my b value is 0. So if I were asked, I would say my slope is negative 1/2 and that my y-intercept is 0. If I want to graph this, I follow the 2 steps. 1, graph your y-intercept. Well, I guess it's 3 steps. 2, use your slope. And then 3, connect points. Let's graph. So we have negative 1/2 as my slope. Don't get too excited though, we have to graph our y-intercept first. You're going to be really tempted to ignore your y-intercept when it's not even written. So here it says my y-intercept is 0. So here on my y-axis, holy cow, I can speak. I'm going to cross at 0, which is right here. Sweet. Now I can use my slope. My slope is negative 1/2. So that's change in y over change in x. This tells me to go down 1, and this tells me to go right 2. Remember that negative sign for y means go down. So I am down 1 and right 1, 2. And that's enough points. If you want to add more points, I am not going to stop you. I appreciate your commitment to your work. You could do the opposite, which is go up and left, but you really don't have to. Now you draw a line through your points, and you have a line. You guys can do this. I know you can. If you have questions, I will be back as soon as possible, but you're going to get plenty of practice. Your classwork is due again at the end of the hour, so finish as much of it as you can. And yeah, you have a Khan Academy tonight. There is one example in the classwork that's a little different, and I do want to give you an example for. Give me 1 second. Okay, we also need to talk about, on your worksheet on the back, there are examples where you're asked to find the equations for graphs using slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So if you want to write an equation for a line and you know your y-intercept and you can see the line, you're able to write an equation because you can find the slope and you can find the y-intercept. So first, just identify both of those. Here, my y-intercept is where I cross my y-axis. The line crosses my y-axis at 0. And my slope is my change in y over change in x. So up or down versus left or right. Here, to get from this point to this point, I went up 1, and it's positive, so I keep it positive. And I went right 3, and that's positive, so I keep it positive. So my slope is positive 1/3. So then I write the equation, y equals 1/3 x plus 0. I replace m with my slope, and I replace b with my y-intercept. Here I do the same thing. My y-intercept is 4. So I say plus 4. I went down 4 and right 2. So negative 4 over 2 gets me a slope of negative 2x. Because this equals negative 2 when I divide them.